Watching a patch of earth light up and crumble under the bomb raids shocks us. The Gaza Strip is facing the wrath of Israel. While war is fundamentally against humanitarian values and the opposite of peace, but it is important to understand why this ongoing conflict had occurred in the very first place. Hello everyone, I'm Arvind Serene, and today I'll talk about the long-standing conflict between Israel and Palestine and why Hamas controlling the Gaza Strip has hurt this region. The latest developments here have the US, the most powerful nation operating in the Middle East and North Africa region, urging Israel to limit its bombings. Civilian deaths are growing in the Gaza Strip, and the starvation reports are emerging here. At the same time, the US has vowed to supply bombing support and arms to Israel. It is patrolling the strategic Red Sea to ward off attacks by Houthi militants. These militants hide out in Yemen and are unforgiving, anti-Israeli and anti-US. The region is exploding and the violence threatens to grow beyond the Gaza Strip. It becomes important to know why this conflict took place and why is it so crucial for the geopolitics today. The Israel-Gaza conflict has a deep-rooted history with both sides experiencing significant losses. It holds a long history dating back to the Second World War, when Holocaust survivors were resettled in Israel, a former British colony, and many original residents, Palestinians, had to relocate to the Gaza Strip and the neighboring areas. An oceanside territory of under 1,000 kilometers, the Gaza Strip is one of the most densely populated places in the entire world. With bombings and gunfire breaking out frequently, it also is one of the most polluted zones. Rather than exploring this long, bloody history of conflict, I'll focus on the recent provocations by both sides. In 2021, Hamas provoked Israel with an outburst of violence when it fired rockets and a missile into the occupied territories, a place where Israel has relocated its nationals, and into the border areas. Israel sent out a warning. Always on the verge of conflict, this region is a political tinderbox, with the Arab world supporting Hamas and US controlling geopolitical actions here as a strong ally. October 7th this year, Hamas really pushed its luck. In a shocking, blood-curdling raid, it killed over 1,200 people and took 240 hostages. Some of these were foreign nationals, many women and children. The Israeli military responded with immediate airstrikes on Gaza and launched a powerful ground offensive. More than 20,000 people have been killed in Gaza, according to the Hamas-run government. So far, a 7-day truce brokered by Qatar led to release of both Israeli and Palestinian hostages. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu stays firm on his stand that Israel will neutralize all fighting and governing capabilities of Hamas. At the same time, the country will not govern Gaza. The United Nations General Assembly has passed a resolution including India as a supporting nation for a ceasefire, but Israel holds out, saying that it will continue its assault on Gaza without the international support. It has called 300,000 reservists in service, signaling a preparation for an all-out war. To anyone who doesn't know or live in this region, the conflict seems incredibly damaging, maybe even unnecessary. It has a huge cost to lives and people. Hamas has said it conceals hostages in safe tunnels and buildings, but horror stories have emerged from hostages subject to drugs to keep them mellow, sexual and psychological abuse, stories about Israeli defense forces using excessive force and violence on people in Gaza Strip have emerged too, with videos and social media posts calling them aggressors. In this entire mix, the US has been the most popular balancing voice. Initially, the US supported Israel's right to defend itself. Israel has shown restraint in the past, including in 2021 when a war almost took place. But this time, the sheer violence against its people has caused a very volatile response from Israel. They call it their own 9/11. It also helps to remember Hamas has got a tacit support from Arab and MENA Islamic nations continuously. It is a terrorist organization in charge of running a very small nation. To support its actions can't be endorsed. Israel has hurt people in the Gaza Strip by creating economic and trade blockades over time. Supplies of medicines, food, and essentials here are often sparse, which is why international humanitarian aid organizations work actively in helping people here. Children in this region find education and healthcare support. But the biggest problem for the Gaza Strip has been dogged with economic backwardness. It has little development or employment opportunities, which is why the youth here are easy targets for terror training. 50% of Gaza's youth is unemployed. It also makes them very restless to grow, and this dissatisfaction is fertile ground to spread hate and anger against Israel. Hamas has tapped into the anger of the young and unemployed and has found a ton of weapons and ammunition from its tacit supporters, Islamic nations, to engage in violence. In this complex situation, the US plays the most crucial role. Gaza's turbulent history, coupled with external support, has contributed to the ongoing strife. It is also crucial to lean towards understanding Israel's position in this complex geopolitical puzzle. At the same time, as President Joe Biden has stated now, incessant bombing over Gaza Strip by Israel is a clear overreaction. It is one thing to protect one's people and quite another to bomb a less developed nation into the ground. It hasn't been cautious to avoid civilian settlements either, as Israeli or pro-Israeli commentators heatedly argue in favor of this aggression on news channels. The US is slowly but firmly pointing Israel towards a peaceful resolution. It has asked Israel to show restraint. India, the country where I was born, has also voted in favor of a ceasefire. Although in the recent times, Israel and India have forced solid trade, commerce, and knowledge exchange, yet this time India stands with the global south, because what Israel is doing there is for everyone to see on TV and online. In conclusion, I'd like to say that Israel has every right to defend its border and people. If Hamas had not had financial and military help from Islamic nations, it would have never made such a brazen move, and this war would not have been triggered. Israel, though, would benefit from some restraint at this stage. Being grown up in this volatile relationship will help bring peace and progress to the entire region, and blocking trade has never helped any nation grow. As for the Gaza Strip, offer it hope for economic growth. The bloodthirst will not find so many supporters in that case.